Good evening and welcome to the March 24th meeting of the Budget and Finance Committee, a subcommittee of the Lawrence City Council. My name is Dave Abdu and I am your chairman this evening. I'm joined this evening by my colleagues, Council President Mark LaPlante from District F, as well as my at-large colleague, Anna Levy. This evening we will be conducting three new agenda items, as well as any tabled matters that members may wish to entertain. I want to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll get into the legal stuff. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. And now for the legal stuff. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, Mass General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15th, 20 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted this evening, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access these proceedings as provided by the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen or view this meeting while in progress may do so with the use of the following locations. They're stated in the agenda, and they include the Lawrence City Council Facebook page, the Lawrence City Council YouTube page, and that can be located on the Lawrence City Council website on the City Council landing page. So with that, I'm going to set aside the minutes for this moment. I want to leave those for the end, and then probably take an extra moment or two if anyone wishes to review them. They are somewhat dated, but greatly appreciated that we got them nonetheless. Truly appreciate that. So with that, I would also note that we've been joined by at-large City Councilor Pavel Payano. And with that, I believe Councilor LaPlante has dropped. We thank him for his time this evening. And at this time, I will entertain item number 4621, request to expend grant funds, Social Equity Access Fund, in the amount of $10,000. And that is submitted by Cassandra Abufara, the Assistant Director of our library. I would ask that Ms. Abufara please give her name, address for the record, and tell us why we're here this evening.
Good evening, everyone. Cassandra Abufara, Assistant Director at the Library. So I'm here today to provide more information about the social equity $10,000 grant. It's provided by an organization called New Profit, who supports social entrepreneurship and advocates for equity and opportunity. The connection here comes with a person who works at the New Profit, and this connection was made with Jessica. The person who works at New Profit connected with Jessica. They were actually college friends, and they connected, reached out, and they learned, through the speaker series events that have been happening, kind of through conversation, came about, any needs that the library is in need of currently. And computer lab furniture was actually one of the things that had come from the conversation. Our furniture they are originals from 1973. So we are just looking to make sure that there's more individual space and privacy, along with, this new ramp of getting the computer furniture, as well as making it ADA accessible as well. So this is where we're presenting.
Thank you, Ms. Abufara, for joining us this evening, and the background of this. And that is pleasing to hear that the director was able to leverage old friends, and that we use our networks, and that is a delightful outcome that this opportunity is before us this evening. Could you just give us a brief outline as to what the money would be spent on, could be spent on, and how quickly we would need to spend it?
Sure. So at the moment, we are taking a look at ideas as to what we're looking to have our computer lab furniture be. We are leaning more towards areas that it can have where patrons can have some sort of privacy as well, where they are working individually on a computer. At the moment, if we were open at where we would be in a normal case scenario, patrons who come into our computer lab, it's pretty open. So anyone is able to kind of, walk by and things along that nature, but it also just creates some sort of privacy for the patron when they are working on a resume or anything along that nature. Also thinking, of course, ADA accessibility in regards to making sure that anyone who would be needing the computer, for everyone to be able to accommodate with their seating in that area as well. As for time frame, we are looking into, we do have the funds. We're just waiting, hopefully, on the acceptance of getting them to be expended through the council. So it's a pretty fairly fast process in regards to just getting quotes from the vendors and making sure we have the proper contract so we can move forward with getting the purchase to go.
Thank you, Ms. Abufara. And I would note, before I turn it over to my colleagues, that this is funded by the Philanthropic Giving Social Equity Access Fund that Ms. Abufara mentioned at the top of the explanation. I would also note that we're joined by Councilor Rodriguez, District Councilor from Tower Hill, District D. With that, I would turn it over to Mr. Rodriguez or Mr. Payano or Ms. Anna Levy for their questions. Mr. Payano, sir.
Thank you, Councilor. So just a really quick question. Cassandra, when do you believe that once the grant is approved, how long will it take to get the new furniture in?
We normally use a vendor called Demco, named Demco, and that's where we would purchase any of our library furniture that we are in need of, just depending on the turnaround and if they have things in stock and things along that nature. It just all depends on what they have and how long it's going to be done up. They do have furniture that sometimes has to be custom made depending on, especially in the case of our ADA furnitures. That's what happened when we had to redo our circulation desks. It took a little bit of time because they had to custom make those ADA furnitures. So it all depends on the timing and how much, I guess, of any personal touches that we need to put on them as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Payano. Other colleagues? Councilor Levy.
Yes, Mr. Vice President, through you. This furniture is for the second and the third floor, or?
It would be just for the second floor computer lab, at least for this amount of money is going specifically towards that second floor computer lab first.
Okay, and that is the only vendor that you already have?
No, we use, we go through our Massachusetts Higher Education Consortium. We do have a variety of vendors that we do look for, what we look through, my apologies, but Demco ends up being that one vendor that we know is flexible and, cater to the needs that we're looking for.
So this is the first time that you got this grant?
Yes, this one in particular, correct.
So when do you think that maybe to fulfill those furniture? Summer?
It should be a fairly quick turnaround because of the fact that we are looking currently in regards to the certain type of furniture and things along that line. So, to put things in perspective, we were looking at a newspaper stand that we also wanted to purchase, and this once we got the purchase order and it went through, depending on what they have for inventory, we're expected to get it in the next month or so. So as soon as we have things laid out, it should be a quick turnaround depending on what they have. And again, depending on things that are going to be custom made if need be.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor Levy. Are there other questions or motions?
Motion to approve?
I believe a motion by Ms. Levy, and I believe
Second.
Mr. Rodriguez seconded it. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
A roll call for document 4621 that was sent to the full council. Councilor Giovanni Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Anna Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Pavel Payano,
Yes.
and Chairman David Abdul.
And the chair votes yes.
Mr. Chairman, and that was a vote to send to the full council with favorable recommendation.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Did you get that, Madam Clerk?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you both. And thank you, Ms. Abu Farah.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
You too. And Cassandra, our next meeting will be April 6th.
April 6th.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good one.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Next item is item number 5421, the acceptance of funds relating to Safe and Successful Youth Initiative. And it is sponsored by Eileen Burnell of the Lawrence Police Department, Director of Support Services. Our former colleague, Councilor Burnell, is here with us this evening to represent. And I would ask her to identify herself and tell us all why we are here tonight.
Thank you, Chairman Abdu. Eileen Burnell from the Lawrence Police Department. I'm here tonight on behalf of the department with regard to two grants. The first is this SSYI, the Safe and Successful Youth Initiative Grant. It comes out from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security. It's an annual grant. We actually have a 7-year grant with them in partnership with Lawrence Family Development and their CSU program. And as part of that grant, we get funds that we then share with our partner, and they run a series of programs, specifically education, counseling, job preparation, and job services for proven risk youth that they get referred to them through the probation department here in Lawrence. So that's the basis of the grant. I believe this is our 6th of 7 years with them on this grant, and we bring back to you annually to approve the expenditure of the funds, but we are under multi-year contract with the state. I hope that all made sense.
It does, Ms. Burnell, thank you, but I'm a little slow. So
No,
it is $700,000 total value
that is correct.
for multiple years.
It's
and
$700,000 per year.
$700,000 per year.
Per year. Well, this year is $700,000. Prior years it's been less. Some years it may be more. It's annually that amount will fluctuate. This year is $700,000.
And could you provide us examples last year as how the money would have been spent last year?
Sure. So we have one police officer assigned to this grant, and as a detective, he meets with their counselors, and he meets with probation, and he makes recommendations of at-risk youth that might be appropriate for them. They also get referrals directly. So that the officer that's assigned to the program, we get 75% of his salary paid for through the program. So that part of it basically is about 10% of the grant. We get that. The rest of it goes to the partner, and they run programs. They run a high preparation program, which is like basically GED preparation for their young people. They have 141 young people identified in the program. Not 141 are getting all of the services. Some are getting counseling. They have a counseling agency that they partner with that's a third party to the grant. They also have a workshop in their building right there on Canal Street where they do woodworking. They have a t-shirt design and a screen printing thing. So they're teaching the kids job skills, and as well as they do jobs for outside vendors so they can make some money for the kids. So they're teaching job skills and providing jobs for the young people, as well as paying their staff. They have staff that has two different roles. I believe one is working in the building, and then people that are out on the street working to bring in young people is one of their other referral sources. So the bulk of the money goes to them. they run counseling, continuing ed, job prep, job skills. So that piece of it comes through the grant. And
Well.
I don't know if you've seen, like, they have these little libraries right now. That's like the rage with them. The mayor was a big fan, the old mayor, now the new mayor. There's one at what I would call Pizza by Ozzy, which is over by like Top Donut in South Lawrence. There's one in North Lawrence. Those kids have actually built the box. They raise the money to get the books. They built the thing with books. They monitor those and keep them up. And the current policy is not to return the books because of COVID. Just take the books with you. And that seems to be really popular. And the kids are really proud of it, and they're really excited about the work that they do. But they have a lot of little projects like that going on in the city too, in addition to the big programs that are going on through the CSU building.
So thank you for that explanation. About 30 seconds into it, I realized how slow I am. No, it was perfect. I was ignorant in the fact that I didn't put the words together that it was CSU on Canal Street, and
yeah.
It is truly a great organization. The work, I was fortunate enough to be there when they were constructing it and at the opening, and the book box in front of Coco Ray's on Parker Street is awesome, and someone keeps replenishing it. So I don't know if it's Mrs. Zalski or the officer who will remain nameless, but it all came together when you started talking, and I realized I should have had more coffee before this meeting. No, I'm all set. If it's CSU, which it is, I'm good. I know what they're all about. I know the good work they're doing. And thank you for the explanation. With that, I'll turn it over to my colleagues who are sharper than I. So, counselors, do you have questions or motions?
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez, sir.
Well, once again, we have this grant in front of us, which I definitely support. I know the work that CISO is doing, and you mentioned another organization, the Family
Development. That's their umbrella. The actual corporate name is Lawrence Family Development.
Okay.
Then part of Lawrence Family Development is the CSU Center.
It's CISU, the CISU Center. Okay. So I know what they're doing exactly, and I know they're doing a great job for the youth that get referred to them. And I know that they do community work and all that stuff. I know that in previous years, when they go in front of the city council, they also, the officer that is 75% paid with this grant also comes in front of us and talk to the community, not to us necessarily, but talk to the community and express how this program is helping the youth. So I would like that to keep on happening. So if you don't mind, please invite the CISO organization to come in front of us.
They're on the call. The organization's on the call right now. I can see Lawrence Family Development is on the call.
And they put some information in the chat as well.
Oh, okay. I don't see that. All right. So might as well just ask him directly, like, thank you for being here tonight. And I would like to for you to share, probably not tonight because you're probably not ready, but I would like you to please send and present some information to the full city council as of how we, as a city of Lawrence, spend this money and what's the result, the direct result of you guys working with the youth. I know it's great. Explanation is not for me, but for the record, and also for the community up there to know about your services.
Also, just to clarify, the 10% that we get as a city is allocated against his salary. So that goes into the general fund. Like, we don't have that money to go buy bicycles or something like that. Like, the 10% that we receive is allocated directly to salary. So I just want to make sure that that's clear for the record.
Yeah, that's clear. You mentioned 10% goes to the city. That's usually general fund. And then 75% of the salary for the officer also get paid out of that. And then eventually the rest of the money goes to the CISO Center. And assuming that's how it's split. Right?
Yeah, okay, thank you. I'm gonna hit mute if, Paul, if you want to answer any questions too.
So, yes, if, Mr. Rodriguez, if the gentleman from the Lawrence Family Development would identify himself, if you would like to say any words.
Sure. My name is Paul Heidhaus. I'm the Director of Program Development for Lawrence Family Development and the CSU program. Ralph Curl apologizes. He wanted to be here this evening, but he's actually traveling. So I can do a couple things for you. I have a report on the outcomes that we had for FY20. We're in FY21 now. Yes. So I have a report on the outcomes we had for FY20, which I can send to the council. You know, I could go through them all now, but it would probably mean more to see them in person or to see them on paper. And I would be glad to talk a little bit further. I could also have one or two of our staff members talk about some of the direct work that we're doing. So yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
glad to.
definitely. I mean, the information that you have, if you have information now, that's fine. But I mean, I would like the entire city council to have it.
Yep.
And you're probably going to be more prepared
Yeah.
for next week when we have the meet next week, right? Yes. Next week when we have the meeting on the 3rd, I believe it is. And then you kind of like, you know, you could present quick presentation, a couple of sheets of what you guys are doing, the programs that you guys are offering to the community. If you guys have any flyers that you can share with us, and information in regard to, you know, assuming that about $500,000 get to the organization, how we spend that money. I mean,
Yep, absolutely. I can absolutely do that. And actually, I'd like to invite you all. We'll be unveiling our next Little Free Library on April 9th at one of the churches on East Haverhill. I believe it's 96 East Haverhill. It is the Santos Family Church. So that'll be our 3rd one. We'll also be doing a 4th one in May and a 5th one, or a 4th one in April and a 5th one at the beginning of May. But yes, I will definitely have that for you for the next the full city council meeting. I will send out some data beforehand so that you all can look at it. If you have questions, you can definitely ask questions. And in response to Councilor Payano, the event is going to be between 2:30 and 3. This particular Little Free Library is sponsored by Representative Minicucci, and her daughter's Girl Scout troop is collecting books for the Little Free Library. So we're trying to schedule it so that they can be there for the event as well. And the mayor has a meeting till 2:30, so we're shooting for sometime between 2:30 and 3. I hope to have a solid time by the end of this week, and I'll be sending out an email, but we'd love to have you all there as well. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez, and thank you for referring that and bringing it to the floor. Did you have any further comments or questions, Mr. Rodriguez?
no, I'm fine. I'm all set.
Sounds good. Any other councilors have any other questions, concerns, motions?
Motion to send to the full council will favor recommendation.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Motion has been made by Council Payano. It has been properly seconded by Council Rodriguez. Is there any discussion?
Quick question. Is the order was put together on March 16? It says it's sponsored by Mayor Don Rivera. You mean Mayor Candice Vasquez?
Where are you looking?
Yeah, there probably is a typo by me. I apologize. I probably was cutting and pasting off of last year's form, so I apologize, Council. I can fix that before the next meeting. That's my fault.
All right, no problem.
Point of clarification. What form are we referring to?
Just that
We do a declaration that's basically the formal,
declaration, yes.
and I definitely took
Got it.
last year's form and cleaned it up for this year, and I clearly didn't clean it up enough. So thank you. That's my mistake, and I will fix that. I'm sorry, Councilor.
All right.
Good pickup by the councilor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I found it. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Roll call for document 5421 that was sent to the full council with favorable recommendation. Councilor Giovanni Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Pavel Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Anna Levy,
Yes.
Chairman David Abdu.
And I vote, the chair votes yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And congratulations to Lawrence Family Development and Ms. Brunel. This will go to the full council meeting on April 6th for its consideration, and it goes with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you all.
Thank you. The last new agenda item this evening before us is 5521. It is acceptance of funds relating to the Stanton Foundation for a second canine in the amount up to $14,000. Once again, submitted to us by Eileen Burnell, LPD Director of Support Services and former City Councilor. With that, I would ask Ms. Burnell once again, introduce herself and tell us why we are here for this item and what exactly the Stanton Funds money will procure for the city.
So thank you, Councilor. You may recall, Councilors, that back in the fall, we got a grant from the Stanton Foundation called Second Dog, which allowed us to acquire a second dog. His name is Baker. He works with the officer Andres Calderon, that's the handler. And the way that grant is set up is they give you some initial funding, which we accepted, you guys approved, and we've been moving on with that. And then Officer Calderon has made a commitment to attend and complete a canine police academy with Baker. And so when they complete that program, the Stanton Foundation will then reimburse us for the overtime that it cost us to have Officer Calderon at that academy, which is this $14,000 upon his successful completion. So we mail them, a copy of his graduation certificate, and then they offer us these additional funds. So this $14,000 would be that overtime reimbursement for Officer Calderon's time at the Canine Academy, which is run through the City of Boston's Police Academy, which he did this past fall. So they break their grant down into two parts. So to get the second part, he has to complete it successfully, which he has done, and we're proud of him. He did a great job.
And so I only have one question. That is, does Baker get overtime as well, or is that just straight time?
Read or something, but yeah, no, unfortunately, Baker does not. I will say it's kind of a neat program, and now that we have 2 dogs and 2 shifts, it's been really great for the department, but also to create kind of a unit is nice for the officers among themselves too. They have someone else with the same skill set, working on the same stuff, so it's kind of nice to have some camaraderie in that aspect. The dogs each live with a separate officer, so the dogs don't have a lot of interaction, but it's a good thing.
Thank you. Great program. And I turn it over to my colleagues for any questions or items that they may have. Or motions.
Motion to send to the full council with favorable recommendation.
Second.
There's a motion by Councilor Payano to send it to the full council with a favorable recommendation. It's been properly seconded by Councilor Levy. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I would, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. However, I'd ask the clerk to please take a roll call.
A roll call for document 5521 that was sent to the full council with favorable recommendation. Councilor Anna Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Pavel Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Giovanni Rodriguez,
Rodriguez, you're on mute.
Councilor Giovanni Rodriguez.
He's coming. And he's nodding yes. The council, let the record show
Okay.
Councilor Rodriguez votes in the affirmative,
And Chairman David Abdu.
and the chair votes in the affirmative, yes. So that is a
4-0.
4-0 vote. And congratulations, Ms. Burnell. And we'll see you on April 6th.
Sounds great. Councilors, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you. She left. I was going to ask her a legal opinion. So we
I'm
have.
here.
You still there?
Yeah, I had called in and my mic isn't working on my computer. So I actually am on the phone too.
Well, if I could beg your attention for a moment as an attorney, I know it's not official legal counsel, but we have minutes before us for consideration, but they're not on the agenda. Do you suggest I hold these for the next meeting?
Yeah, for purposes of public,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, notice, you probably want to hold those. That's unfortunate, yeah.
Okay, so we do have minutes. We will entertain those at our first meeting in April. Thank you, Councilor Payano. I got your signal as well. Thank you, Councilor Burnell, for hanging around a couple moments.
I'm going to hang up now, though, for real.
Okay, hang up for real now. With that, we do have tabled items. I'll entertain any motions you may have or any other motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second,
Second.
There's a motion to adjourn and it was quickly seconded. Mr. Payano made the first, Ms. Levy the second. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Clerk, one last time, if you would take the roll call for
Thank you.
adjournment.
Roll call to adjourn at 7:32 p.m. Councilor Anna Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Pavel Pajano,
Yes.
Councilor Giovanni Rodriguez,
Yes.
and the chairman, David Abdu.
Chair votes yes. Thank you to my colleagues this evening and thank you to those at home. And next meeting of the full council will be April 6th. Thank you all and have a good night.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Aye.